Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 433.
Hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love, I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
CPU's mixing out.
Let the weight control your body.
I'll settle down soon.
I'm searching, I'm loving.
I'll have to drop the frame rate down to 20 again, or less. That'll fix it, I think. Less processing frames, but that's only the intro that causes problem. That's when the mixing CPU's going. Multiple layers, video playing. Looks like it's coming right. Good to be back for another live stream. See who joins us today. So we'll go over some of the nonsense out there again and expose the frauds. We didn't quite finish it yesterday, a couple of days ago, wasn't it? So we'll just resume from where we left off. And obviously there's more stuff been put up since. So forever ongoing. But you can't wake up the people out there unless they watch the show and you show them how they can do the fact checking and searching themselves. You show them how to search. And then maybe they can fact check and call out the people they follow. Yeah, it's like all these experts talking about, the virus that's causing a bit of a problem at the moment. Yeah, when you do some background checking on some of the people, it turns out that they're trying to push their agenda and sell books on it, right? Sell a story to the people that want to believe it. So yes, but hard to know what's true out there, of course, because there's such a distrust in the government, mainstream media as well, where they obviously been caught in lies. So people turn into other people. So what do they expect? So yeah, it's the same in the UFO field. It's ongoing, isn't it? So you got to learn to be critical thinking and do your own fact checking. So yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that stuff because it causes problem with Google, doesn't it? But I'd like to say some things about it because I think it's important. There's a lot of misinformation there about the virus and also UFOs. So we'll just get into it. Hello, who's out there? I see we've got someone join us. Anyone out there? We've got 5 join us. Welcome to the OT channel. I'll zoom in a minute and have a read. Live stream. $4.33, getting up there, isn't it? And we're late doing live streams. We've only been doing it for years. But it's the easiest way to do video editing, really. And of course showing people how to do it live. How to check things live. And then they can either believe you or not. So I'll show you a few things today. because we're always interested in strange things in the sky, whether it's man-made aliens or weather itself, Mother Nature. Welcome to the channel live stream. Security investigated again and other UFO stuff. Okay, what do we got coming up here? Okay, show comments. I think that's okay. What did your message get flagged? What did you say in it? Okay, dude, I used to be a fan of Secureteam 10, but now I can't stand them. Yeah, I'm the same. But I've learnt my lesson. I started listening to him for, maybe who's this boy and why are people giving him all the information out there? Is he a boy genius? This is what I thought when I first heard about him on the email system. Bit like Deep Prasad. I thought he was going to be someone like that. That was like a super genius or something, and leakers have gone to him and given him information. And I thought, this will be interesting. He's talking about bases on P67 heading towards Earth, and they do look like buildings, but is it legit? He's saying he's getting it from secure email. Can he prove that he got it from secure email? So nothing, no update come up, and I thought this is really suspicious. Now, if he's in contact with all these guys that are leaking him information, why has there been no updates on that particular event? Because obviously, ancient artifacts found on a comet heading towards, or asteroid heading towards Earth would be like major news. So I was a wee bit suspect, So I kept watching him for probably about 6 months, and then it just got more and more bizarre with his cube UFO over Texas and whatnot, and I did some searches and found some really old stuff before I joined YouTube, and made my own live stream. Well, made my own channel, I should say. And one person had debunked him for faking a certain piece of interview, and I thought, this is very interesting. Let's see if I can find the original sources and reverse it myself and verify what's been said here. And sure enough, I've got videos up doing that, that you can have a look at. But I found lots more, which backed up the original claim, which that's why we do research and that sort of stuff. You don't throw people under the bus straight away, because you get into that rabbit hole of conspiracy thinking that these people got to be government shills, right? And that's not the case at all. If they can show you how it's done and use the tools yourself, and you can duplicate it, then they're not government shills at all. He said people like David. I should go to the other screen. I'm reading it on screen 1. I'll zoom in here so everybody can read. It's just easier to read on screen 1 for some reason. He said people like David Fravor are full of shite, and that the only person I could trust was your boy. I called him out on it and said you have to earn people trust back, and now my comments are blocked. Hey, surprise, mine are too. So if you're trying to debunk, even on third face, you'll get blocked as well. Because it's affecting their bottom line, the money, income. Tyler called himself your boy. And said he was the only person that could be trusted. Well, we're going to prove otherwise, again, with new stuff that he's put out. So just bear with me while I have a cough. I've taken these pills that suppress my immune system because my own body's attacking itself and causes all sorts of back pain and eye damage and stuff. But it's got some side effects. It makes me sick for a couple of days, and gives me dry throat and makes me cough a lot. But it would just bear with me with that, and let's kick it off, shall we? Let's dive into his first video. And we'll start with the one where I expose him, which is at the end. There's a picture here that I've used for a thumbnail at the moment. Okay, so from what I heard roughly when I first watched it, he said this was in Switzerland, Cern, right? So we'll see how many images we can find of this out there in our research and see if that's the case. Okay, so we'll just find the spot where he's talking about it. That's strange, I've got it muted here, and yet it's playing music. Let me just check the volume. I think that's really buggy. Google. Have we got sound now? Oh. I think he's got it really loud here. Okay, we'll come back to the front ones. Okay, I think the audio is working alright now. Okay, where's the Cern or the portal ones? Oh, that one. So where's it begin? About there.
Out of the ordinary, he looks at the photograph later on and sees again another one of these triangle light shows sitting in the sky in the distance, just sort of hanging out. So we'll go ahead and zoom in, and there you have it. These things are showing up everywhere. I want you guys to check out this pic that someone sent to me of a very strange...
Okay, so here we go. Let's go through this one.
Cloud formation. I'm using cloud in quotations. Cloud formation over Geneva, Switzerland. And what is in Geneva, Switzerland? You guessed it, Cern, the European organization that operates the Large Hadron Collider, smashing particles together, playing with fire, creating all sorts of weirdness, possibly a mini black hole one of these days. And when you smash particles together and you're messing with things that, especially things that scientists have already stated that could directly cause the creation of a mini black hole here on Earth that would then grow and grow and grow and end up swallowing our entire planet within a very short period of time. And so as they're doing these wonderful experiments over there, we've seen a lot of strange weather activity, things in the skies over Switzerland. And here we have this new photograph of another one of these strange ring-shaped clouds in the sky. We've talked about these before, but what's so strange about this particular ringed cloud is these, what look like little divots cutting through this thing. It almost looks like a chain or machine gears or something like that, giving these strange sort of gear-shaped teeth wrapping around.
Okay, I know how this is created. Does anyone out there know how it's created, this effect in the sky? And it's nothing to do with banner planes. Not skywriting anyway, but it's possible that they could do some effect like that. I wouldn't rule it out. But yeah, anyone else got an idea how that's created? Have you come across it before? Because I've seen it before. So we'll actually show you some examples where this is some variations of it anyway, where you can see it developing
this thing. Here's an enhanced version here, giving us a better shot. We've upped the contrast, lowered the brightness a little bit, and is that not strange, or what? Here's the image inverted, giving us an even clearer shot of this very, very strange cloud. But is it really a cloud? And if it is it outlining something that we can't see? Or is it yet another one of these...
it's not a cloud, but it's not a reflection, okay? I'll let you know what it is at the end.
Strange weather phenomena that we are seeing happening specifically over Cern ever since they started ramping up their particle smashing experiments that have had all of us on edge.
Okay, so you said this is in Cern, Switzerland, right? So what I've done is I've grabbed the image here that I use for a thumbnail. Right, so I've just grabbed that from his thumbnail because he hasn't given us a link to the original picture in his description. But it's good enough to match it without that thing in the middle, so it doesn't really matter about the play button. So first of all, we've got to run it through reverse image search, right? So just bring up Google. I'm going to bring up normal Google. You could type Cern in there to start with, I guess. Okay, so you want to go images, and you want to go the little camera icon, and you want to upload an image. Choose file, browse to where you saved it. And this is how easy it is to check out things. You've probably seen a program called Catfish where they do it with photographs with people pretending to be other people with stolen images, of course. Okay, it's uploading, and this is how easy it is to pick out a liar. So we can actually use Google search, and there's also another better one called TinEye, which actually can detect photoshops. So if you modified half this picture, TinEye has a sort of a new, better algorithm where it's able to work out partial changes. So if someone got hold of a NASA photograph and started painting in buildings or monoliths and stuff, you know that it's been edited from that point onwards, which I've shown in past live streams. And sure enough, we've just searched on the image and already we've got some hits here. Cloud, Cern, in 2014. Made a discovery, but obviously it's not to do with what we're seeing in the picture. But we'll have a look. Sure enough, the main match here is Secureteam, oddly enough. And we got some other similar images according to Google anyway, which are obviously load of weather anomalies. Where strange holes created in the sky are natural, called four-streak holes mostly. That's the technical name for them. So I'll just keep on going down the list here. Now this doesn't sort it into the oldest to the newest, which is a problem. Unlike TinEye, it allows you to sort it and do all sorts of nice things. So straight away, you can see it's got a Secureteam logo on that one. So that's probably something recent. That one's got Secureteam. That one's got Secureteam logo, and it's got shenanigans. So that one sounds like a possible debunk. So we'll look at that one maybe. Conspiracy Fast for Hannah. Again, it's got Secureteam there. Cern Evil, Secureteam, so it looks like someone's reposting. And we haven't got too many hits on this, so obviously, mostly it comes from Secureteam. Secureteam, Platform 1, Secureteam. It's got Secureteam logo. Scary Portable, Secureteam. This is how this guy makes lots of money. He gets around pretty much. People post it everywhere in different languages. What language is that? Russian, I think. Secureteam Alert. Cern Project. Secureteam again. And I bet all these are posted since his episode that we just looked at. Secureteam. And Shenanigans. So that one looks like this other page that we come across. It hasn't got a Secureteam logo. Hey presto, we found the original image. Yeah, it's in Italian, is it? Italy. So we found 2 references which hasn't got Secureteam logo. Okay. So let's go down to this other one. It seems to have the same name. And looks like it's been indexed by Pinterest. I think they scrape web pages and put up thumbnails. But that one there's got Secureteam logo, right? So, but it's got the same sort of name as the other one. So I reckon it's got various other images on the same page. So we want to go to that last one because that one looks original because it hasn't got a Secureteam logo. All of the other ones have. Okay, so let's go to it and have a look. This is how we investigate things. So we're obviously not going to understand what they're saying here, but you can see this is where the original image is from. And it's the only one on the web. So it was stolen from here. And straight away, the first line here looks like it's got nothing to do with Cern. Warwickshire sounds like in UK. So let's translate this Italian page. So we'll just bring up the translator. Yeah, I'll catch up with the side comment in a minute. So I got all these bookmarks for all the tools I use for researching and fact checking and exposing. So choose that one. And this one just makes it easier. Detected language, English. Okay, that will do. We know it's going to be Italian though, but we'll just try the defaults. And then we're about to read it. Okay. Geoengineering, there we go. Anomalous cloud spotted in the skies of Warwickshire, England, which is nowhere near Cern, Switzerland. So let's just bring it up there. Let's see where it is on the map, if we can. I know it's trying to do this overlay business. We'll see if it works. Okay, let's see how far away from Cern it is. So straight away he's caught in a lie. That's what you call fake news, guys. And it's dangerous. Fake news is dangerous. Especially to the field of real research and ufologists. Alright, so want to go to England, to Cern, which is a city in Switzerland. Switzerland. Has it given us a click? Here we go. Is that the one? Here we go. Swiss. Let's see if that's the right one. Okay, so it's across the ditch, so to speak. I'll just scale it up a bit here. So Cern goes past France into the edge of Switzerland there. And it's 3-hour flight away from the location where it actually was filmed. You could say, oh, he meant it was close by or almost in a straight line, but that would have been more accurate. If he spent some time researching it, he could have brought up the map here. It says, it's filmed over here, but look how close and diagonal it is to Cern. But anyway, that's what I would do if I was faking it anyway. Make it the story more credible, right? So what else they got to say here? We'll have a read of what they got to say. I just need to zoom in a bit. It's a bit small for my eyes. A mysterious ring-shaped cloud appeared among other clouds above Warwickshire, England on 11th of November 2016. Guess what? That's the month I started my channel. So it's quite ironic. He should do this one recently, and it sort of celebrates me starting my channel and also debunking him back then. Because I started my channel because of him. I was so sick of seeing ufology being destroyed when we had so many great cases out there that could have brought disclosure, including the New Zealand Kaikoura Lights one, which was covered up. So James Thomas, who photographed the formation, wondered what might have caused the circular cloud formation. So it sounds very legit, the photograph. Okay. Could it be a HARP irradiation? So it's nothing to do with Cern. HARP sounds more credible, I guess, because it does upper atmosphere modifications, and you do get funny patterns in the sky because of it, because of the charging. Geoengineering product. The ring, more of a U curve, was composed of irregular clumps or lobes which were observed at the bottom of the cloud layer. Now, I have seen actually something in the skies in New Zealand very similar to this. I think you just have to have the right coldness layers in the air and ice crystals and something to trigger it, and I will go over that in a minute. These loaves resembled the clouds known as Mammatus. Okay, so let's find out what that means. This is why we always learn stuff here. Okay. Got to keep on learning. We've got to get better and better at this research stuff. Whether you can remember it all is another thing. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Some examples of lumpy clouds. Does look very similar, but no cigar. Also called Mama or Mama Toko Columbus, meaning memory cloud. Memory is a circular pattern of punches hanging underneath the base of clouds. So even that's pretty cool, have a look at that. Whoa, look at that one. Sky UFOs, guys. Isn't Mother Nature just amazing? Now, I've never ever seen anything like that in New Zealand, or like that. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Seeing something really similar to these, but normally long streaky bits under the clouds. Closer to that one there, but I've never seen little balls like that. That's really cool. Whoa, look at that one. I'm glad I did this one because we're learning something new here. Now, I've seen single ones. They've been very common on UFO things. mostly in Japan, where they got the icy and the right winds from the volcanoes to create them. Oh, there's plenty of those. Wow, that's just amazing. Little SpaceX. Isn't the universe and Earth just amazing? And of course, obviously, that's like one in a lifetime to see a lot of these ones, I'd say. Just love it. That's great. Okay. And looks like they got one here, is it? Little lobes hanging down. Looks very similar to their one. But, yeah, it's not an identical match. Just catch up on the side comments. Don't get too far ahead. Don't like hating and harassing people either, but I just dislike dishonesty. Well, yeah, it's not about hating them. It's about hating what they do, which is where the angle I come from. You know, I don't hate Blake Cousins. I think they're really funny people. If I was in their company, I'd be laughing all the time, and I wouldn't even be drunk. Just every time he talks, I'd probably burst out laughing because he's got that voice and he's got that mannerism about him. They'll probably be chucking me out of their house anyway, but yeah, I found it really hard to debunk Blake Cousins because I'm always laughing, watching them. Because I thought they were just taking the piss out of ufology, but no, they were trying to be credible, right? Which is what they should never have ever done, because they're no good at being credible. Because they created fakes themselves, which I've proven. But yeah, I don't hate them still. I just hate what they do to ufology, that's all. And it just makes me angry. And Tyler's the same. I don't hate him. Just hate what he does. The only reason his channel was ever good is because it got big enough. Well, there's a whole big story about how that actually happened. I've talked about it in previous live shows and episodes up, which you can listen to. But the short story is, back in 2000, he was addicted to painkillers, and he was on rehab. And after he got cleaned up, he wanted to do a documentary about opiate addiction, or Oxy Alley as he called it. And he wanted to go and interview how it wrecked people's lives and stuff. Now, from there, this is back in 2005, he put up a crowdfunding page but didn't get a single donation. And so he cancelled it and started up a YouTube channel instead. And instead of doing drugs on there, I think back then they were a bit more lenient in what you could put up on YouTube without having it taken down, or what ads you could put on it. But he could easily have done his documentary probably back then on YouTube before it got too censored. I don't think you can do now. I think you still can, as long as you class it as education and censor. Make it R18 or whatever, change the age limit and stuff. But yeah, he decided to do a UFO channel. Now, he didn't believe in UFOs himself, that was for sure, because what he did is, the very first episode he put up was a interview with himself. So he had this fancy of being an actor. You can find still pages up where he's trying to advertise himself as an actor. Also a model. So what he did is, obviously he was going to use his YouTube channel, like some stuff he made, and use it on his CV, saying, "Oh look, I made this video, went viral, made millions of views and try and get into the movie industry that way. So what he did is he created his first leaker, which was like a Bob Lazar type character, which I call the Area 51 guy. He didn't give a name on the script he wrote, which he did a really good job. He made this big, huge story up based on various characters in ufology, you could say, various stories from ufology, mostly from Bob Lazar, of course. And he made up his own character and added in moon UFOs and moon bases and all sorts of crazy stuff. Which you can go and listen to. It's still up on YouTube. People duplicated it after he deleted it off his channel. It's still available. If you have a look at my live stream 218, I give you some links to some, or how to search it. But he tried to get most of them taken down, saying he owned the rights to it to cover his tracks, right? But I suppose it makes it a wee bit harder if you take it down off your original channel now, unless you kept it private, and then you can say, well, there's it's listed as private. But anyway, they're still up there if he hasn't had them taken down still. But the evidence is in my screen catches. And I think he got something like 5 million views for it within a short time. 5 million views back then would have paid big money. Well, it wouldn't have been instantly. It would have been over 6 months or longer that it accumulated. But I think it may have been like 1 million views, and then it sort of, over the last 8 years, got up to 5 million. But, well, actually, he took it down soon after that, 6 months. Let's see, I'm just getting confused here. It was the next one he did that got 5 million views. The first one, I think, got 1 million views. Okay. I'm trying to summarize it up here. And I know other people have duplicated it and uploaded it on their channel and claimed it to be theirs, and they've got like 500,000 views on it still. So it's a very popular video, this leaker interview that he made. It was well written, like I said, and it would have been good if he was honest about it, saying he did it as a comedy or whatever, and used it for a CV. Now, if he kept it honest, then people would forgive him. But why keep knocking out new ones, right? Why not put up a disclaimer on it at the end? Often you get these documentaries on Yeti and Bigfoot and stuff, and Mermaid on the History Channel, and everybody switched off History Channel after that because they thought it was a trusted source of credible biohistory or whatever type information, and they were disgusted that it wasn't. And if you didn't read the line at the very end of the video that it was actually a Moko, which a lot of people didn't because they switched it off, or they switched it on halfway through and didn't see the beginning of a little line saying this is actually a drama, not a real thing, which is only like a 30-second thing or less. And if you missed that, you believed the whole thing. It was like a real documentary about how they had various people film mermaids from around the world, and one washed up on the beach of Philippines and all that. I'm not sure if anybody's seen it or not, but it's still available. You better to get up and watch it on the stream channel. But so that's how he sort of began. That's how he began his channel, dishonestly. And after that, he started finding various documentaries and stuff, and he used to take out chunks of it and just reassemble it and put in his own words or whatever. He didn't actually do too much. He was really bad at editing to start with. But unfortunately, he's deleted all his early stuff, so you can't see how he began. Now, unlike us, you can go back to the very first episodes of mine, and they're pretty rough, But you can see how I've gradually improved over the years, what I do. because it's all a learning process, right? And so he started knocking out all these other leaker videos. 2 of them were found. And then I find out that he actually did a lot of stock videos. So what he do is he did like an area, section 51. You might remember those guys that sort of admitted they were CGI artists. Anyway, he did something similar to that. He did some videos like that and added in a fake UFO, like car hubcaps, and toys and stuff. That's like third phase we're doing. And also did a lot of single photograph stills, which is quite easy to do in Photoshop. And he had hundreds of those up, but they all got deleted. Once he got into the newspapers after that, he sent some to that John Austin. I think maybe the one that kicked it off was maybe the Cube UFO, but I'm not too sure. It might have been something before then. Probably have to go back and check, but he went from something like 53,000 subscribers, because he had stalled was only going up really, really slowly after that point. It sort of jumped up to like 100,000 overnight once it got into UK tabloids. So he gradually got bigger and bigger, using the UK tabloids, which then Fox News would pick up some of the pieces from the UK tabloids without doing any fact checking, of course, and that's when all the millions of views on the other ones started happening, you know. The Cube video one, I think, got 5 million views. I think I looked at that a couple of live streams back, didn't I? Probably a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, that's basically how he began. So he's not actually a UFO believer. He's an actor. He's a script writer. How's the audio going anyway? I just need to check things here because it's a new setup. Does it still sound alright? Yep, that sounds alright this end. So yeah, what else would you need to know? That maybe you haven't watched all my stuff, but I can probably summarise it up here. So yeah, he's doing quite nicely. You know, everybody was believing him. He was putting up a lot of stuff that he made as well as other people made, and he knew they were fakes. He did a confession video not too long ago. Was it the start of this year or December or somewhere? He did a confession video saying he knew they were fakes, and he put it up for profit, basically, and he's going to change his ways. But he never admitted to doing all the stock images and leaker voices. And you may recall this one here is the Mr. Ken one.
Yes, my name is Ken.
Okay, so that was the third one he made. That's the one he's most famously known for. So I just added a few effects in there to make it sort of repeat. So yeah, what are you saying down here? And the government took down... Okay, so yeah, that's another part of the story. I was really only focusing on him lying and faking stuff. Back in January 2019, he got into a bit of a bother. He met a girl on Tinder dating app, and he went to meet her behind the wife's back for an affair. There's a police report about it. He admitted that he was meeting this girl for sex. Anyway, it turns out the girl had 3 big black men waiting there for him. And so they threatened to beat him up if he didn't hand over all his stuff and PIN number. And it's all in the police reports anyway. So you can find it on Reddit still, and find the links to it. It's up to you if you want to do the research. But I have put some information up on some live streams here and there as well, because stuff on the web can disappear. Now, I'm not sure how much money they got away with, but apparently he had also pills in the car which controlled his addiction. So apparently he was addicted to opiates again. So when did that start? I don't know. So that was 2019, I think it was, January. You can go and check it, fact check it. And then the rest of the year carries on as normal, I guess. And then, was it September? He gets done for the DUI. And he blames the cops beating him up and Men in Black and all that, which is nonsense. And if you watch my enhancement of the DUI dashcam video, you can actually hear and read out all the names of the drugs that he had in the car. Prescription drugs, that is. Whether they're illegal prescription drugs, I don't know. Plus there was some booze in the car. And he took out 5 letterboxes before he crashed. So he could have killed anyone that was at a letterbox that day. Well, he's lucky that no one was at the letterboxes. So he must have been swaying all over the road. And then he said he was with some girls or hookers in the car, and the cops said no, there was no one else in the car. So whether he was hallucinating, I don't know. But that's a kind of strange thing to say. I think maybe he was partying with some girls and then drove off, maybe more the case. But yeah, you can go and listen to what he said to the cops anyway. And then his picture showed up on the web in a orange jumpsuit. He actually went to prison to be processed, and he got out in 3 days. He got out early. The judge processed him early, and he had to do drug rehab and get regular blood tests. I think it was all in the documentation of the court anyway. You can go and check that up too if it's still available. And below us, out comes another court case that showed up in the court records. Abusing wife, bashing wife, domestic violence. And yeah, turns out that did go to court eventually. And it was dropped to a lesser charge of disturbance, neighbourhood disturbance or something. So yeah, we thought, oh well, his wife couldn't throw him under the bus, and decided to forgive him and try and cancel it, or not show up court to give evidence. So he got a lesser charge for it instead. But I couldn't find the information out on that, so maybe someone else could go digging and see if they can find all the missing records there. If you want to know a bit more about his personal life and why he's lying. But I see he's put out something today that they've been together 18 years, but I have my suspicions because I've never seen it on camera. Why has he not put the birthday thing? Why didn't he just pan around and show everybody there at the party? Or it's a bit suspect to me that she might still be with him, but I think maybe they're living apart. Separation, right? And he's trying to say nice things to her on the web so she forgives him. But it turns out there's a 911 call, which I have a copy of. Did I have it here? I actually have a copy of it and a transcript. And you can find a link on my Twitter if you're fast enough. It may be taken down. It's been cleaned up on the internet. But it's a 911 call from his son. You've seen a picture of his son on his Twitter. And so sounds like the boy if you listen to the voice, and he's saying that the father is smashing up the mother. He can't see it, but she's screaming, and he can hear the punches and stuff. So the police get called out there by the son, and he gets arrested. Actually, that might be where he gets the jumpsuit. I think maybe the DUI charge. May not be the jumpsuit one, but I'm not too sure on that. Because it was all roughly around the same time period, you see. So I thought, oh, that's kind of strange. Why he'd be beating up the wife? Why would she be beating him up? Was she upset that he drove drunk? I think it's not. I think it's because she found out about the affair. About him losing his wallet and stuff. And cheating on her. I think maybe that's it. She called him out. But that's my suspicions. I can't prove it. But it's up to you guys if you want to dig in deeper there. If you're into that gossip. But me, I just want to focus on the UFO side of stuff. I'm not really interested in all that personal drama stuff, but it just proves that he's willing to lie. That's all, He lied about the arrests, lied about bashing the wife. Obviously, if there's a 911 call, which you can get through FOIA requests from the police station, it proves that a lot more went on than he has come clean on. But anyway, we'll just carry on with this weather phenomenon. Obviously, it's nothing to do with Cern. I'll just catch up on the side comments before I carry on. His excuse for being gone the last year and a half was Men in Black. Yep. Yeah, apparently he was saying he was at dinner with his wife and the Men in Black had drugged him. And so they couldn't move with the date rape drug, or whatever it's called. Dragged him off to the car, drove the car crazily, and left it in the ditch with him at the steering wheel, wasn't it? Yeah, right. Pretty sure there'd be better ways of doing that than because it's in broad daylight, wasn't it? Funny time to have dinner, unless it was a lunchtime dinner. That's another thing that doesn't add up. Was it a nighttime dinner? And he wakes up the next morning? I think it was, wasn't it? That's how he worded it. But you can just watch his body language and his eye movement, and you can see that he's making up the story, and try not to burst out even laughing at some of the stuff he's saying. Same as Blake Cousins. Or Blake Cousins reading out the script, he's trying not to laugh. You can see it on their faces, the micro expressions. But anyway, and if his story is all accurate, then it's almost sad. Dude has been dragging himself and family. Yeah. Yes. It's very sad. And that's what drugs does, I guess. But they're not even married. I'm not sure if you know that. They've actually been together, but not married. So yeah. And of course, they've been together since school. And of course, what happens if you don't have other girlfriends? You tend to wonder what it would have been like with other females, right? At first, I thought, could they be swingers? Is another possibility, and everything's okay. Maybe that's all right. That's their personal preference. Maybe they like to hang out with swinger groups. But I don't think so. But what's sad is what he's doing to ufology, and he's making good money from it. I have good information that he made $2.4 million from ads in 8 years. So I'd like to know where all that money's gone. I know you probably got to pay a lot of it in taxes, obviously. That certainly would buy you 1 or 2 houses, though, in America, wouldn't it? Means that you could rent out one and still not have to work, right? Or you could even use half the money to buy a franchise in, say, Subway, and that would be good income forever onwards, right? So, yeah, that's just ad money. Now you got to add in all the t-shirts he's selling. I was told also that he makes a minimum of $5,000 a month on that sort of stuff, and also all his donations on Patreon would be about $6,000. So he's currently making probably $15,000 minimum a month, but he was up to about average of about $40,000 to $60,000 a month before he stuffed it all up. It was a cash cow, money pouring in. And we also found out recently that he was given money to certain people to troll channels that were exposing him, like myself, and also to join their patrons to see if there's anything secretly being posted about them. But all mine's public. I want public to know that they should do background checks on who they follow. Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. Billy Meyer, Third Phase of the Moon, Goof On, always do background checks, see what the education, their education levels are, whether they've actually used a camera for sky watching, and only recently has Tyler purchased cameras. It's taken him all that time to get cameras and to start using them. So that should have been a red flag, someone that's, living in America where there's a lot of UFO hotspots. What the first thing you do is, let's get a camera and actually go and film someone, put it up on the YouTube channel. That would be the obvious thing. Then you don't have to worry about copyright because you own it. And you could turn it into a TV show then. Nightly sky watching or whatever, that's what I would be doing. Even if I set up one permanently on the house at the sky, I would be doing other things, and it would be in the corner where it's being recorded and people can see it's being recorded. I think you could do things a lot better in ufology and try and get real evidence, of course. But the problem is, I think UFOs don't operate the way people think they do, and they move so fast they don't need cloaking, right? And the only time we're going to capture it is on really good technical gear, and which is going to get better and better. I think UFOs don't have to move left and right at all. Most of the credible reports always talk about the UFO shooting upwards, which makes total sense, right? Go straight out to space, or shoot upwards and then get out of sight very quickly, and then maybe go to a sea base somewhere. Shoot downwards vertically over the sea or lake and bang-o. That's what I think. These ones where you see them going left and right slowly aren't UFOs. Anything that's moving crazily or stops and then shoots the opposite direction, then you could say that's not a balloon, that's not a bird, that's not man-made, right? So I do believe, I have talked to credible witnesses and people over the years now, and I have brought some of those stories to you, and a lot of people won't come forward and talk on air. And some of them actually have photographs and videos that they won't share, or they've been lost as the normal thing. Like, you store it on a hard drive, and if you only put it on one hard drive, even two hard drives, it's not good enough. It can get corrupted on both. But there is some good footage out there that may have been lost. I won't say people are lying, but I do know about hard drives, and I've gone through probably a couple of $1,000 replacing mine every year, because they don't last long, 3 years, 5 years sort of thing. And you always got to have triple backups and off-site backups. Use the cloud even, but encrypt it into a RAR file. Use encryption, so no government or corporation can spy inside it. Make sure use a reasonable password on it as well that you're not going to forget. But anyway, we better get back to doing UFOs, and less talking about Secureteam. I was only just pointing out the new thing that he's done, which just proves that he hasn't changed, and he's still trying to fool people. Yeah, going out video, that's good way to learn about cameras, and make sure you learn about the apps to use it for debunking, like flight tracking software for planes, and also Heavens Above is another good app for tracking satellites and International Space Station. Yeah, obviously the Tic Tac one, Nimitz one, sounds very legit from the eyewitness accounts, and the very first video, 2004, to me looks like it's what they saw. It's got the tic-tac shape to it, despite what Mick West has to say about it. I believe a pilot would know the system better than him, and that the government have better software to reduce the glare, so you're not just seeing the glare, but you're actually seeing the shape of the craft, or you see the craft around some of the glare, if you know what I mean. They can reduce the glare. Maybe some artificial intelligence software could do that, right? But anyway, better technology obviously is going to improve in these military planes. If we're up to 120 megapixel cameras now, you can bet the government had that for a wee while, because they always get the cutting edge. Like NASA used to get the cutting edge on the cameras, even though it was pretty crappy, and they had lots of scratches and various artifacts in them that Tyler uses for UFOs, which I have proven that they're not UFOs in previous live shows. Not that anyone will listen to what I have to say, but the information's out there. You just got to ask the right questions and find the right resources. If it's online, a lot of the problem is a lot of stuff is not online, and you might have to go to actually ask some experts, that designed the systems and they know the flaws, and which you can find on obviously Twitter. There's a few on Twitter, that sort of thing, if they reply to you. It's very hard to get people to reply to you when you got questions, especially pilots. If you're not someone famous, they're not going to talk to you, or they get sick of talking to you and they think you're an idiot or something. But I have tried to reach out to the pilot of the Cube video, because I wanted to ask more questions about it, right? And just make sure that the facts are out there, because I was comparing it to holograms and fourth dimension and portals and all that sort of stuff, which I've still yet to complete. But yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that it's really hard to get people to talk to you, that's all, in this field. And I think because it's such a drama, it's full of these people trying to make money. Not just some money. We're not just covering costs, right? I don't cover costs, so I run my channel out of my own pocket, right? But it's getting harder and harder for me to do so, because I'm on poverty line. So people say, "Oh, you're jealous." No, I'm not jealous, because I started my channel out of my own pocket, and only 1/4 of my stuff would be on frauds. The rest of it's on theories. Others would be on UFO cases, legit cases. So there's a lot to my channel. It's not just debunking, but debunking is part of it. Understanding science and camera technology is some of my live shows on, and we got to understand that so we can sort of eliminate artifacts and photographs and videos as well, and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, enough talk. So where did we get to? These lasers resemble the clouds known as Mammatus, and we just saw some really good pictures of them. The strange fact is that this is not possible, that it can be Mammatus clouds because the formation is too regular. Yep, we saw that. You can see these ones all over the place, but we saw it in other photographs where it was random round things in the sky underneath the clouds. Could this be a chemical spray? Nope, it's not. It comes from the Cloud Appreciation Society, I mean, which declares how the effect of the cloud ring could have been created thanks to the transit of aircraft. Bingo! And there's the answer. So now let's prove that it is from a plane. So it looks to me, if it's a plane, then it must have been coming in this direction here and did a loop back to the airport. So how could it be made? So let's see if we can do some searches on that. We don't need the map anymore. What else can we close down here? I've got a few tabs open. How are we going for time anyway? 1 hour already. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's see. Plane strange. Plane contrails. Let's try that first, shall we? I haven't mistyped it. Yes. Contrails. Let's see if we can get some pictures up that matches it. Or close match. Okay, so these are meant to be strange. I'll just open this up fully here. Wow, look at this one here. That's strange looking. Almost looks like a chain. So how would that be made? Looks like it's got some really strange vortex winds where it sort of rotated the contrail around itself. Pretty good. We've looked at these ones before where it makes these rainbow colours through the crystals, because all this here is miniature ice crystals as it comes out the engines. The superheated air suddenly hits the very cold air at the back of the plane and starts forming what we see as ice crystals, not water vapour. And of course ice crystals act like prisms and can split the rainbow, the light, into rainbow colours. That one looks like it's almost three-dimensional, but it's actually a light coloured contrail here and a dark one from the other wing. Just the right lighting of the day through cloud cover here, and one's lit up and the other one's not. Here's another one that's sort of bending in and then going back out again. There's the chain one. Oh, what? Look at this here. This is now what we're looking for. So if you grab that image there, that looks very similar to the same image. Just save it. and rotate it or whatever. So this is what I've seen before, also in the skies in New Zealand. Doesn't happen very often. We've got a lot of planes that fly overhead here. It only takes like half a day to drive across our island here. It's longer than it is wider. So on one side we got the Alps that has a slipstream straight from Australia, so it has a really hot wind over top of the Alps, which are freezing cold. And of course when the planes fly through it, they create these strange cloud formations. Yeah, so let's just save that. And there may be some better images. That's the first one we just come across that looks really like square blobs hanging underneath. But there's all sorts of strange contrails that happen. And this one we got already. I'd be really surprised if it's been photographed many times. But you never know. Now, we've looked at a lot of these images in the past. That one there apparently was a experimental stealth plane with a chase F-14, was it? Was it F-14? F-16, chasing it. But yeah, filmed that. Here we go. Here's another one. So we've got two. It's got the same pattern. Just save that one. Now this is where pattern matching comes in really handy to debunk images. Ideally, I'd like to see a plane in front of one of these, though. Whether they got a picture of one with the plane in front. Here's one similar. It's got little chunky bits hanging down. And then it goes normal again. But again, we can't see the plane because it would be like 1 pixel big. On that one anyway. And look at this one, crazy conspiracy theory. There's the plane there, but this one here is not caused by just the engines. Here you can see the engines, right? There's also other contrails that can happen depending on the air layers, where it forms over the wings. So it can actually form over the wings of the tail fin and all that, and it makes one of these big thick ones, where it's got a combination of the engines as well as the condensing happening over the wings. So you end up with a big blob in the sky like this. You can see the plane here, plane there. But I was hoping to find one where it's forming the little square ones. Here's another one with the squares happening. Strange contrail. So for that one's got it top and bottom. And obviously, there's the full image here. And again, we can see it's obviously going to be made by a plane. And it's flying straight. It's not actually coming down vertically. It's because they aim the camera up into the sky, and it gives the illusion that it's coming down vertically, right? Here's another one. It's got the sort of lumpy bits happening. But I think we got a couple of good images here. There's another one. Another similar image. No one. It looks like the plane's lit up by the sun here. Anyway, we don't want to spend too much time on it. So we need to grab the original one. that he used. Probably that one where it's not cropped. So image, and let's see how closely it matches those plain contrails. Obviously they're going in a straight line though. JPEG, web, they're all different formats. We'll see if it works. Of course, this is all the boring side of investigations, right? This is like a live debunk, right? So people can see what I did and that I'm not lying, and they can then go and repeat what I did with the searches and images and overlay it. And this is the only way you can prove to people that you're not a government agent or something. I don't know. If I am, they certainly need to start paying me. But yeah, if that's the case, why would I have up a possible real UFO video on my channel if I was a disinformation agent? And where I analysed it and said, yeah, I just can't say this is not a real thing, you know. It's either a really, really good hoax or it's a real thing. You know, why would I have that up on my site? Why would I have people given stories and experience stories? Why would I also have my own experiences? You know, you don't have a disinformation agent that's actually admitted to having his own experiences. It's just stupid nonsense. Okay, so there's the original one. And we want to overlay one of the plain ones. Which one should we pick? That one there. Add as a layer. Where we can enhance it so it stands out. We'll scale it up proportionally. But you can start to see that's almost matching up here. Look, there, the spacing is very, very consistent to what's in that photograph, right? So yeah, we can probably erase some of the sky here. It could be a bit tricky, this one though. Let's see how well it goes. It's not too bad. Hasn't taken too much away. It's probably the wrong colour. So let's adjust it. Let's change it to different colours, and that's probably better. So we got some other bits and pieces in the contrail that would probably disappear and just leave these little blobs underneath, which is basically what we got here. And you can see how closely it matches, but we still need to bend it. So I'm not sure if I can bend the image, or have I learnt how to do it on this device. I don't think I have. And we can rotate it and zoom it, but I don't think it's got a bending function. We can sort of change the angle a bit. Location. Very sensitive, that one. Zoom level. I don't think I can bend it. There might be a function somewhere. And there's a lot of functions. Literally, there's hundreds. But I haven't even touched on 1% of them. It'll be somewhere there. But anyway, we can just grab that there. And you can see it's sort of matching up on this level here before it bends. There. There. Probably need to get rid of some of that stuff on the top here. Which would fade away. But that's what I think is happening in this picture. Nothing to do with Cern. Of course, the plane would have turned around and changed the angle of it, going back to the airport. And of course, there was another image for 2. And see what that one does. Okay, it's a different upside down one. You can see there's always also other planes generating contrails. Layer. Flip vertically. There we go. So yeah, perhaps we should save that for a new thumbnail, shall we? So let's do that. And as far as I'm concerned, that's debunked. And it says UK even in the name of it there, so it's definitely not in Cern. Ring cloud. I'll just call it thumbnail. Or for a thumbnail anyway. To add to the show after I've finished. Replace the one I've got there. So that worked alright. Alright, haven't saved it yet. Flatten. Yeah, we can close it. And it should be there in the list now. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so let's move on with the other ones. We'll give a link inside to that article where he got the source video photo from. Original photo in UK. So, caught in a lie again. Does it do Google Translate on that? Was that the original translated? Well, you know how to translate it, don't you? Is that translated? Oh no, this is the original one. Yeah, I can give you a link to the translator thing as well. I'll just shrink that back down. I think that's it. There you go. So if you want to do it yourself, you can. If you want to do it better than I can, go ahead. So, before I carry on with his video here, I had a look at UFOofInterest to see if he had debunked this one before. Because it is an old thing. What year was it? 2016 was it? Something like that. When I joined YouTube. So it's going back a few years. So I looked up what UFOofInterest has been debunking him, because he was debunking Secureteam and others before he even came along to the internet. He was debunking others, exposing their lies. So here's one here about portals. The strange ring of lights over Minnesota. Lights from Mystic Lake Casino. There you go. Like they're shining up laser beams, I guess, or spotlights. And it crosses over and then films opposite on the clouds. And sometimes you see the beams and sometimes you don't. I think that one's got some partial beams in it. But if you cropped off that photograph there, right, on a UFO channel, then you wouldn't have that information, which is what a lot of them actually do. They actually try and trick you. So that's one of them. And the next one, a MUFON case. A ring of lights appears again in the city over Mammatus. How do you say that word? Mammatus, Minnesota. What's that one there? Is that the name of what they call their city? Is it Minneapolis or something? How's Google say it? Translate. Read aloud.
Hashtag Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. And Minnesota. The lights from Mystic Lake mistaken again for UFOs. Okay, so there's another angle of it, of the previous one we looked at. And it's even less faded, more faded, I mean. So I don't know if he's got it on that video, but we'll just go through these ones. Hey, I've never seen anything like this. I'm just giving you theories, such as some sort of portal opening up in the sky, said the hoax promoter Secureteam 10. What year was that? What a perfect ignorant and disinformer. Here's the explanation. So what year did he post that one? 2018. Another video has gone viral. Okay, let's have a look at that one. It's inside a car. Looks like the sun reflecting off one of those big satellite dishes. I don't know. But yeah, it could be like the sun behind the cloud, and it's creating got crystals as well. So what was the explanation for that one? The weird sky phenomenon spotted above Ecuador. Amazing cryptopuscular rays. See what I mean? We always have to look up these words and find out what the scientists are meaning. I wonder if we can do it though. Let's find out more about it. Oh, where's it disappeared to? So this is in Australia, which is quite interesting. I actually lived 100 kilometers away from there once. Okay. Resembling or relating to twilight. Well, it doesn't really tell us much, does it? What was the other word he used? Rays. Okay. That's next one in the list. Sunbeam. Well, that makes more sense. Why didn't you just say that? Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. So it was the sun. Sunbeam going through clouds and ice crystals, and then if you cut the picture off there and you just had this, it would make a really good thing on a UFO channel. What's it saying? Meteorological optics is a beam of sunlight that appears to radiate from the sun's position. Well, not in that one. That one's quite unusual. You don't see the other beams going up. Or God rays, sunbeams that originate when the sun is below the horizon. So it has to be below the horizon. And that's what we see here. Look, the sun's below the horizon, shining through ice crystals. But is that what is in the other photograph that Tyler has put up here? I don't know. Let's have a look. It kind of looks the same, doesn't it? The sun's being obscured below the horizon, and it's just creating this effect in the sky. So, has he put it on today's video, that one? Be interesting. I haven't fully watched it, of course, so we'll find out. On to the next portal. Bizarre glowing portal over San Francisco. 9th of the 4th, 17. Another hot air balloon from the weekend, not lens flare. So it was on his one back in 2017. And it's meant to be pictures of hot air balloons. And if you look at it carefully, it does look like a hot air balloon. You can see there's it's got some little ribbon on it. We zoom right in. So that's obviously a street lamp there, we can now see. And you can see it's got a balloon shape here on this one on the left. It's got a tear shape, and you can't see the basket because it's blurry. And of course, when they light up the flames, it lights up the silk or whatever they use. I think it's silk, isn't it? Probably other man-made products they use. Balloons, what are they made from? I guess we can just look it up, I suppose. Balloon, hot air. Yeah, balloons are made from nylon. Most hot air balloons are made from nylon now. There you go. Now this is why we do interactive research. Sometimes used with experimental balloons, but its flammability makes it unreliable for most purposes. The fabric near the mouth of the balloon where the burner is must endure substantially higher temperatures than the rest of the envelope. Well, we actually have seen some of the hot air balloons on fire, right? It's scary. Probably the early ones they would have used silk. I would have guessed, because it's light. So makes sense that they would have some sort of other fabric near the flame, I guess. But anyway, moving on. So that's another Tyler one. Don't know if he's put that one up. We'll find out. Here's another one. MUFON case. Analysed by Secureteam. Analysed. Hey. Something just exited a portal over Louisiana. Hoax. Full streak holes. Okay. So let's have a look at this one. So, yeah. Has it been darkened? Has the sun gone down there? It does look very similar to some of these darker ones though. And it does have that bit in the middle. So these are Mother Nature again. That one there looks very similar to that one. That would be the closer match one. Maybe that one there too. Then the other ones don't have the same blobby thing in the middle. So, yep. Another one that's not to do with UFOs. Doesn't mean that UFOs don't make portals though. But a lot of these ones obviously are not made by UFOs. Here's the newest fake news by hoaxer Secureteam again. Now, I just looked up all the portal ones, and oddly enough, they all turn out to be from Secureteam. A portal being seen above California. Yeah, I would have said that was a rocket launch, because it looks like one of those typical contrail cones, you know, the contrail cones that you get from rockets. US Navy bright light in northern Nevada sky was missile test. There you go. So that one is done. A glowing rectangular filmed in the sky over Jinnah, China. UFO. Now, didn't we see something really similar to this a month ago? We did. Remember the triangle in the sky? This has got to be a load of lights around buildings, and it's casting a beam of lights around the outside of the building and not in the center of the building, making a square on the cloud cover. A spotlight projection, it reckons. So let's have a look. Is it a projection? So it's got a lot of spotlights here, I guess, going around the top of the high rise. And it forms that pattern in the sky. Same as that triangle one, that third phase of the moon put up. You might remember it. Right, okay, we're finished. So that's just a few I found. Rays, yep, we're finished with that one. Okay, so let's have a listen.
Edge, wondering if they are going to create a rip in the space-time continuum, open up a portal into another dimension, create a mini black hole, and every time we feature one of these strange weather phenomenons directly over Cern, and maybe we get a little bit of mainstream media press on it, it's always washed over and downplayed by these scientists and government people who say, oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. So, very strange. Let me know what you guys think. And what are your opinions on Cern?
Okay, so he's talking about science there. So is he now a science expert? So why hasn't he brought up the information that proves that they create mini black holes and how it's done, rather than just talking about it? And why is he sort of giggling as he's saying it? You know, how he talks. Have a listen to his body language.
Black hole. And every time we feature one of these strange weather phenomenons directly over Cern, and maybe we get a little bit of mainstream media press on it, it's always washed over and downplayed by these scientists and government people who say, oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. So, very strange. Let me know what you guys think. And what are your opinions on...
So why is he sort of laughing, saying, let me know what you think, you know? So, as far as I understand, Cern is not really that much powerful compared to what the sun puts out over the Earth every second. There's more energy in a second passing over the Earth from the sun than CERN would put out for a full year. In fact, pretty sure there's some scientific papers on this that you can find online. CERN power output, making black hole. I don't know what we can find, but there'll be some articles about it. Will CERN generate a black hole? The LHC, as it's called, will not generate black holes in the cosmological sense. Okay, let's have a look at that article. So why don't he look up this stuff and back up his argument? You see what I mean? Set cookies. Some theories suggest that formation of a tiny quantum black hole, okay, the word quantum is in quotes here, may be possible. The observation of such an event would be thrilling in the terms of understanding of the universe. But I don't believe they have ever seen it. Is that all we got? Yeah, it's a bite-sized information. Okay. So what did they mean by quantum black hole? So you need to look up that. Obviously theoretical, it's all theory. So not actually realistic. If it formed out of theory, then it proves that the theory was correct, right? And it hasn't happened. Quantum black hole. Most famous paradox in physics nears the end. Okay. Because the radiation is highly entangled with the black hole, it came from the quantum computer too becomes highly entangled with the hole. Okay. Quantum black hole. Micro black holes, also called quantum mechanical black holes, or mini black holes, are hypothetical tiny black holes for which quantum mechanical effects play an important role. The concept that black holes may exist that are smaller than stellar mass was introduced in 1971 by Mr. Stephen Hawking. So again, it's only theory. So they're right, it's going to create a quantum black hole, but as I said, they don't last very long. Microseconds. How long do they live if they existed? Obviously they've done some mathematics in it. Talking about solar ones here, is it? So they reckon some of the black holes have been around since the beginning of the universe. Okay, quantum black holes, here we go. Could soon be creating black holes in the laboratory. That's back in 2007. Obviously it didn't happen. So it's been disproven. Or they didn't detect it. Okay, so enough on that one. So that's this cobbler's fear-mongering. That's what I call it. Let's carry on. What are you saying here? So you seem to be the most vocal person in the side chat. I think you might be the only one, is it? Oh no, Dan's with us. I didn't see you there, Dan. What's the shadow? What did I miss? Shadow. With the black thing in the middle? Don't think so. Some of it is cloud. Is that what you're talking about? The full streak? I didn't see you there, so... I was laughing at this video yesterday. He tried to say that the military was still the hoverboard. Did he? It's like, dude, they have A-10 Thunderbolts and Apache helicopters. I think you'll find that they actually do have a hover platform, which is way better than the hoverboard. I have seen it on videos of them flying them. But still, I think they have to have jet engine fuel, and if you got hit by bullets, you'd go up in flames. So unless they've got it fully running off batteries in a battlefield, which is getting there, you can run electric cars up to 300 kilometers now of one single charge on the battery. So if they can do that, I'm pretty sure they could have a flying military troop with batteries, but the problem is batteries weigh. Of course, then you got to lift them up in the air. It's not like they're on the road. So again, that would cut into how long they can stay up in the air and whether it's feasible or not, compared to having wings with aerofoil that does most of the heavy lifting and reduces the fuel consumption way down. Again, it's all to do with science, right? Let's keep on going, then we go back to the front of this one, because we haven't even analysed the front of it yet.
Cern. Now, if you remember, a couple of videos back, we were talking about finding these strange, sort of triangular, keyhole-shaped mounds on the planet Mars, and how they are almost an identical match to the same type of mounds that we found here on Earth.
Okay, we've sort of covered this before. Mother Nature does some amazing things. So where's the mound on Mars? This one here. Okay, so I'm not too sure, but it kind of looks like a stitching error here. Remember I was talking about stitching errors, and some of them are triangles and squares, and some of them are black and some of them are white. Depending on what type of missing data it is, because it doesn't transmit it like a normal camera. It does it with various filters, so it does a red, green and blue filter, transmits the data. If one of those transmissions get lost and you only got RG and you haven't got the B filter, and also you got pixel information, and then it's got to stitch it up from little squares. So it takes it in little squares and gradually builds up a picture. Now it's got to do it by satellite, and as you know, satellite go into weird orbits where they go on angles. And of course you can see one here passing this way, taking a photograph, and it's lost some data here. So what's instead of having the train next to it here,
well,
it looks like an edge. It looks like an edge, like a man-made platform, right? But it's not. It's just a stitching error where it was passing through. And same later. So obviously it worked when it came back around. I did this one here, and it passed here another day. But you say, oh, the angle's not right. Well, what happened is it probably got too dark when it came around here. So there was no pictures. Time it got round again, it was too dark. And so another day, it's on a slightly different angle. So instead of being on that angle, it's now on this angle. So it comes around, takes some more photographs, and something actually happens to the transmission again, because maybe there's some sort of magnetic anomaly happening here under the surface. As we pointed out in that research one I did a few weeks ago, that there was magnetic anomalies on Earth, and it was related to impact craters, because asteroids and meteorites have a lot of iron core in them, and a lot of magnetic material which can alter the planet's magnetic point in that location if it's a big one. And this is maybe what's happened here. Also, it may be that there happened to be a sequence of sunbursts that day where it interrupted the transmission, because it doesn't store this into a big memory and then transmit it. It transmits it as it goes, right? And if there's a problem in the transmission, then you're going to get blurred, missing data. So obviously there it got... looks like it may have got the color information, maybe, and didn't get the pixel information, or got two of the color filters but not the third one, right? And so they mix it together and it doesn't look quite right. But anyway, we'll just keep on going.
I have something even better for you guys today in this new image sent in by a viewer who is scouring the Martian surface on an app on his phone. It's very similar to Google Earth, when he discovered a near-perfect triangular-shaped crater on Mars. You're seeing the screen grab that he sent me here. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and look at this. Look at this perfect triangular...
Okay, so is that a perfect triangle, guys? Do you want me to prove that it's not a perfect triangle? You can see that side is the longest, that one's next longest, and this one's slightly shorter again, and you can see it's all bubbly and crumpled. Again, look what we have right next door to it. We have this square block coming up. So we're not actually seeing a triangle. We're seeing a rock that goes right underneath this blurred out bit. And it's just a bit of rock on the edge of a crater. But you could say that looks raised up, but is that an optical illusion? Is it raised up or is it sunken? So you can see here, it looks like the image got corrupted to about there. And down to there. Some information is lost here. You can see it's all blurry. I'll go in further so you can see it a bit better. Can you see what I mean now? That the satellite was passing overhead. And oddly enough, in this particular location, it corrupted. It's probably now, if you look on the map itself, where this crater is, it's probably now been fixed with some newer images. But all sorts of stuff can go wrong when it's transmitting the data. And it's missing only some of the data. That's the key here. And so that means, looks like it's actually going along here and around. It's not going to be a triangle at all.
cut out crater. I mean, it's not a crater. It can't be.
You can even see over here where the satellite passed on the other side. Can you see the square lines going across here? You can see where the images were stitched together. And of course it's darker that day when it's doing it, or the same day when it comes back around here to take more of the photograph, it's actually lightened up. So it might have been early in the morning and it got brighter as it got around the orbit, which would be like an hour go around again, or a couple of hours to go around again, and by then the sun hitting the moon had changed. We can bring up Google Maps and Moon Maps and all that sort of stuff, and you can see all the stitching errors and how the light changed as it was going around on the same path, even where the sun faded. But anyway, we don't want to cover all that again. So what have we got now? Oh, the flying thing, is it? Now, when this first came out, there was a whole debate whether this was CGI or not. And I determined it wasn't CGI, that this had to be a legit experiment. And the question, the main reason was that it's over water. Now, if you're going to do an experiment, you do it over water, so if it fails, you're going to end up in the water, and you're less likely to be killed. So it makes sense that this would be legit rather than CGI, but that's now been proven beyond doubt that it's legit. And it just shows how powerful those little rocket engines they use on remote controlled jets. It just takes 4 to lift this man up that level. It probably can go up higher, but of course the higher you go, the less oxygen dense it is. So there'll be a certain limit you can go on these things. And of course he probably wouldn't want to go too high in case it failed, because I don't think he's got a parachute on there. I think it's just got a backpack with all the fuel in it and the control circuit. I'm not sure if you've seen parachutes before, but they're quite bulky, and they also have a backup one on the front of them, just in case the main chute doesn't open. So yeah, military do use those. I don't know if we can find it. Military. What would you call it? Flying platform, I suppose. And of course, Germans were mucking around with it, weren't they? Is this one of them? The idea's been around for a while. See, that's got to be, yep, Hitler. So they were looking into flying platforms a long time ago. Oh no, it's Hitler. But I still think they got that from the Germans, you know, paperclip. What year was that? 53, it's way after, see. So that's just a big fan underneath, which is similar to the jets, you know. The jets are really small now. This is before the jet age, right? So you can see they've got a normal propeller here. How did it get power to it? I don't know. Whether it had a cable that went below. And what the flight time was of it. So if they were doing that back in 53, obviously they were thinking about it, right? So what have they got now is the question. Let's see what other images we can get. So you see some of the other ones. They just look at this one here. Again, it's 4 engines. I don't know if it doesn't look like jet engines. It looks like propeller. This one here looks like it might be the latest one, and it's on the drive, so that looks like the latest one. And we got those ones here, flying platform. It looks like a game. Okay, we need to look at that first one. So there's 3 of them. Earliest, I suppose, the next generation, starting with a shooting rifle, and the latest one here. And you can see that he hasn't got a big flammable backpack on it, so I reckon that would be battery powered, eh? That would be the safest. One company thinks flying platforms have finally come of age. Will the military hop on board? And this was 2 years ago. And this is one of their prototypes. Kind of looks like a lot of fun though, doesn't it? He's not flying it over water either. So, looks to me like they've got a parachute here, is it? But it doesn't look like he's high enough up to be safe with a parachute. So has he got a cable that's going up to a crane, perhaps, as a safety? I can't see it in the picture. Because generally that's what they do, isn't it? Have like a bungee And we got a little video. I wonder if it's safe to play at YouTube. I'll take a chance. Says demo. Well, I think they don't need the flyboard, guys. I think they've already sussed it out. It's not really loud either, is it? And he's not flying it over water. Remember they used to have that on Lost in Space, the old early black and whites. Amazing. Come on, why haven't we got those at the house? Why are we mucking around with bicycles when we could do that? Now, does it use fuel? Because if it is, it's not got much carried with it. Wow, that's just amazing. I'll post a link to it anyway. So why didn't he find that and put it up on his episode? Was he just too lazy? You know, water training. No. Okay. I thought it was a gust of... let's just get it right here. I thought it was a gust of wind. So what happened there? I didn't see it stall. Company also says it's initiative and safe to use with the computer control system providing built-in redundancies and automatic compensation if one of the jet engines fails. So it must have 4 of them, is it? So they must have redundancy, so maybe they got 5 jet engines on that one then. Sepata is pitching fly easy as having broad military applications including supporting quick reaction missions, routine patrols and helping personnel get quickly from a ship to shore with the high speed and minimal radar. Infrared signatures. It might even offer a way to rapidly insert conventional or special operation forces into denied areas. Well, maybe the Taliban should be careful then. Imagine that flying through. They could carry little bombs on it even, couldn't they? Could you put armour? I suppose you could. You could have a fabric that goes up. Some sort of Kevlar, bulletproof stuff. So we won't go through and read it all out. I'll just skim through it here. And here's some of the early ones that we found. And here's another one that we didn't quite find. And it's got a box. Well, armor plated probably. Okay. The drive. I'll just post it on the side here. How are we going for time? Once I get started on the stuff, it's never ending. I got half an hour left. Okay. Flying platform. Yeah, it should pop up on the side in a minute. So yeah, the guy that ran Skunkworks for a long time said we now have the technology to take ETs home. Yeah, that's possible. But they're denying it. The Navy hasn't come clean on it, if that's the case. obviously there was something fundamentally wrong in our physics, in our equations. And I think it's going to end up being that space-time was incorrect. We'll wait and see if it ever comes out. And I get proven right. Einstein, you can't always say he's 100% right. What you can say is he had the right idea. Same as Tesla had the right idea. But all the great minds joined together adds up to a complete idea. If you can do away with all the infighting that you get in science, and everybody calling it pseudoscience and fringe science and all this sort of business, and they believe their own sort of own group. That's the problem. When you get a degree, you got to go through and learn it, what they believe is the truth, but it might actually be wrong. But you have to learn it their way and then prove that you can pass with the knowledge, and then go and do your own research and find there's mistakes in the conclusions, which overhauls the whole science concept. I think that's what's going to happen. Eventually some people are going to find, maybe through pure accident, that the theory is totally wrong, but maybe then they'll have the correct vision to make it public. If the military already know that it's wrong, if you know what I mean. If they're saying they've got to take ETs home, that means they've got knowledge from elsewhere. From the aliens itself, in that case, or from their own research, or from those missing diaries of Tesla, maybe. So, Townsend Brown also did some amazing stuff too. I did a documentary on him as well, but yeah, so this is about the floorboards. And I suspect the military one looks a bit safer to me. Anyway.
On this lake here. And I'm sure you've all seen these hoverboards before that are connected to these giant hoses, which are then connected to a jet ski, which use the blasting of water as the propulsion system. Whereas this is a major step up. This thing needs no water, needs no hoses.
So this is old news, right? So it's just, obviously this is from an old video that is just hacked together. And that's before the other article come out about the military version, obviously.
It is completely independently propelled. It's in the prototype phase now, pending government approval. And I guess they're thinking now, after they got so much of a huge public response, that they're going to make this for public use. However, as I've heard many people saying after watching the videos of this thing, that if anybody's going to snag this thing up, it's going to be the military. So, mark my words, when you see military flying up with M16s in the desert on one of these things, you can say Tyler had it right. So, nonetheless, it's really, really cool. And you can only wonder what type of application this thing's going to be given. And sadly...
Well, we already know because we just looked it up. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, what we got here? Looks like a bunch of balloons to me. What do you reckon, guys?
Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Thanks for stopping by. We've got a lot of strangeness to show you guys today. And, well, let's get to it. The first clip I wanted to show you guys right off the bat, and that is the clip that you just saw featuring an object of some sort that looks like it's being...
Looks like it's just, it's not symmetrical, right? Something doesn't look right on it. Let's grab an image of that, see if we can enhance it. before we carry on, let's see if we can see anything that is not obvious at this stage. What's it doing? Just very slow. Need a faster machine. I'm still doing it. Okay. Yeah, I thought it might be close to the edge. Okay, let's scale it up. Too big. And I've also got proportional unticked. My hand's gone to sleep here. It doesn't help if I type in. Right, I forgot to untick it. Almost looks like a different colour there too, doesn't it? Almost looks like a green-blue colour. So have they mucked around with it? Maintain. Okay, let's run it through some filters and go from there. We do color swap. Try that one first. So it looks like it's got a round edge here, round edge there. It looks like it's got two edges there. It almost looks like a cushion, doesn't it? An inflatable cushion. So it's not a bunch of balloons at that stage. You can see it looks three-dimensionally, and because of the various color shades happening. And the CPU's playing up. Come on. Try to reset it. Yeah, the CPU's not behaving. It's going to make it harder for us. Still looking the same. You can start to see the reflections, the various shades of colour within the colour itself. So we're just recoloring it, so you can see how the image looks almost three-dimensionally through colour swapping. So it looks like it's got a curved edge here, and it goes up to a rounded part. Kind of does look like a cushion, you know. Cushion. And now we can see it's less pointed here. So, definitely looks like some helium type pillow of some kind. You can see it's sort of crumpled in places, which you get with mylar rather than latex. And it doesn't look symmetrical, smooth edges for a craft of some kind. Does look like it's a greenish blue colour originally. Okay, so let's see what we can find. So that makes it a bit more interesting, unless it deforms.
Pursued by...
Looks like it might be rotating. Let's grab that one. Could be one of these helium cubes that's available now. It's three-dimensional, obviously, but we're seeing it in 2D here as it's sort of spinning. A cube UFO? No, it looks like something's drifting in the wind here. It would be good if it was a cube UFO, and from a credible source, of course. Navy pilot would have been really good. From what do you call it? The camera pod, or the targeting pod. Okay, let's have a look at this one. See how different it is. Oh, I forgot to do that. Just cancel. Let's add it as a layer to the same one. We'll scale it up manually, keeping the proportion. Now, it looks to me like it's rotated a wee bit, isn't it? It's come more this direction here. Unfortunately, I need to cut some of that off. So raise. That's not going to let us do it. Oh, yeah. Oh. And sabotaged by the browser. Okay, let's just go back. Oh, let us. Yeah, that'll do. Merge it. Bit in the corner there still. Doesn't matter now. Looks like it's coming around that direction, doesn't it? Pencil's too big. So it looks like it's spinning around that direction. My crude arrow. So, oops. Yeah, we don't expect to see much changes in that. And we can start to see the atmospherics around it, the water molecules around the outside causing fogginess. So it looks to me like it's rotated around there. That's the edge there still. So it does kind of look like some sort of crazy balloon. The light's reflecting it off here. So let's see. Helium. Let's try cushion balloon. See what comes up. Aha, there you go. Happy ever after. Looks like one of those, doesn't it? That one there. And so they do have helium pillows. Because this one's got rounded corners, so it matches that one perfectly. Not those ones. Not those ones. Still trying to find other ones of this one. No, it's not that one. It's different. Here we go. That one's got a snowflake on it. So we said it was like a green-blue colour. So can we find one that really matches it? That's the question. Of course, it could be optical illusion. It could be messed around with the video, so the colour's not correct as well. So here's one that's a cube, so it's another possibility. Let's just go back. It could be a cube, it could be a pillow. So some really good candidates here. Let's save that one. I was trying to get to the other one too that we finished off to on the last show, which I said was a lead, most likely a lead kite. I wanted to do some analysis on that, but whether I'm going to have enough time is yet to see. Looks like I'm out of time actually. That half an hour ago is gone. Yeah, cube one, that's a good one here as well. But yeah, you can see this stuff takes a lot of time, and then once you've got it sussed out, you can make it into a 5-minute video if you want to, and just say, well, that's what they're claiming, and here's this solution. You know, it may have taken 3-4 hours to get there. But that's the final solution. If you want to see the process of how you found it, watch the live show. And ideally, I would want to do that. I'd like to shrink down my live debunks into a final 5-minute episode, and people just, with no time, can just see what it was. But what I do is I put chapters up, and hopefully that sort of makes it a lot easier for people just to jump to it and find the final solution that way. That's about all the time I've got left, because I got to upload this around the place and do thumbnails, as I said, and other stuff. So could it be that one? It's very possible, but obviously a different colour. A greeny blue one. Oh, don't want to lose the proportion. It's got sort of rounded edges here, just like these ones. And you can see it comes out like it does here. It goes upwards on a lip. You can't see that on the picture, but so that's really, really good possible. Let's see. To get the other one, the cushion. Where did it disappear to? What's that? Alright, a ring. Gift. Oh, that one. Is that the one? Nope. Oh, that one. No, it's the same one. Oh, here we go. Happy live after Grenada. Okay. So is it this one? It's even in the right angle there, isn't it? Let's make it a bit bigger. Yes, so you can see the difficulty. It's one or the other. But I think that's a debunk right there. I'll just save it. I think we've run out of time again. Must be 3 hours or more, is it? Let's see. Where's my control panel? It's disappeared. 2.5 hours. Okay, that's not too bad. I did start a wee bit late again, unfortunately. Pillow balloon. Someone got a happy birthday and decided to throw it up in the air. Because the problem with these videos, we don't know how big they are, but the object looks like it's the right size for these objects anyway. Looks very small compared to jet size. Okay, that one's done. Might add it on the thumbnail as well. What else we got left? Hey, you have to go. Okay, I didn't see you, sorry. Yes, I know it's getting late for you guys and it's getting near dinner time for me, but yeah, it kind of looks like a small object. Have we got any reference points?
A blacked out, possibly military style helicopter. Now, this was emailed over to me by
Okay,
Mrs.
so we've got
Everlyn.
some reference points. So it looks very small compared to the helicopter. See how fast it was moving in the wind currents here? So it could be like one of these helium cube things for advertising on the outside of it, and it's broken away from a shop. And that helicopter looked like it was a police one, didn't it?
That looks like it's being pursued by a blacked out, possibly military style helicopter. Now, this was...
Okay, can we tell if it's a police helicopter or not? It's too far away, you know, even the whites there will probably be washed out. But we can grab it and run it through filters and see if there's two shades of paint on it. Looks like we might have to come back to his video another day and look at anything else on there. But we've covered the main stuff today that I wanted to point out. That he's lying. And he's been caught in his own words. It's not at Cern. Helicopter save. And this last thing I can do, because I'm out of time. Come on, open up. Helicopter, yep. Open with. So who's left out there? Anybody? One person, it reckons. I thought they might be interested to see what I figure out for the rest of the stuff, but maybe they got work tomorrow. I don't know. It is the weekend though over there, isn't it? It's Monday here, so it should be Sunday night. Yeah, they probably got early morning. That's alright. Okay, so let's run it through some filters and see if we can see the paint job on it. Come on. CPU. CPU. Is the audio still good? Yep, it's good this end. Okay. Color swap. Can we pull out some details? Looks like it's got a white stripe here with a black nose. So we might have to zoom in a bit more. There we go. So, it's two colours. What colour are police helicopters? So it's white and black. That's my guess in that picture. Which is not a black ops. Black and white California, is it? I'm not sure. I know California have black and white helicopters. Let's see, what's the paint job on them? Okay, looks very similar to that one there. And we've got various types of helicopters. Looks like the nose, the right nose here. So that one's different again. That one's all white on the nose. Here we go. That's the one. LAPD. Let's save it and bring it up for side by side. So he's been caught in another lie here. It's a long name. Oh well, that'll do, I suppose. They say that's high resolution, but it's a very small picture. Now let's see how it comes in. Los Angeles. Let's see how good it looks. New layer. Oh yeah, it is. It is a lot bigger. And we need to scale it down quite a lot. Oh, I messed up. Looks like the tail fin's matching. Hey. Looks like a match to me. It's got the coloured nose, it's got the white bits. Probably not quite the right angle though. It needs to come around this direction more, which we can't do, so that will change the pattern more to match this one here. But the tail fin is a match there, the size thing of the tail, the length, all matches up. Let's erase some of that. Oh, I knew that would happen. Oh, cut the tail off. I'm rushing it now. Now that'll do. I think we probably can merge the layers. Like I said, the angle's slightly different, but let's see, is it transparent now? You can see the angle's slightly off, and it's a wee bit longer. I think that's a perfect match though. If we could change the angle this way. Anyway, yeah, so that's how you do it, guys. You just don't guess. And yep, also I've got dinner bell going. I won't bother saving it. Yeah, so a couple of minutes. And what did you say?
Emailed over to me by a Mrs. Everlyn Nunez out of the Bronx, New York. And she's actually got a ton of anomalous UFO sightings on her channel.
So is New York using the same colour scheme? Or was that a lie? As a question, it could be a lie. Because like the Cern one, which wasn't in Cern, this might actually be in California and not New York. New York, cop helis. That's probably got a similar colour scheme, right? And bingo. Black and white, but they got more of a white going around there. Slightly different. Here's one. This one's got the hoopy things. It's not that one. Yeah, it's not those ones. Here's one. That's the match. That's it there. I think. I've closed it down now. It's got the same tail, similar black and white. Although they do have variations. But again, there's no guarantee it is actually in New York. Here's one, look, looks identical. Here we go. Same sort of helicopter as California using, is it? It's got the same type of tail anyway. It seems longer though, that one. It's not that one. The LEP ones matched it better. Yeah, it's not that one. That looks like a close match to the LEP ones. So for they ain't got any whites. They've got the white this direction this time. Doesn't mean there isn't any out there. There's one that's all white. Anyway. As I said, there's no guarantee that it's actually in New York. But who's to say, you know? What we think is white colour might actually be a light blue colour here. With black. Anyway, but
you guys will have to go and check it out. So she posted this video just 2 days ago and titled it, quote, "Anomaly Going Down." She said she saw this object stationary above the buildings that you see in the video. That's when she grabbed her camera, and as she...
Okay, so it may have been tethered, but maybe someone was holding on to it. Birthday party balloon got away then, or it snapped off. So yeah, it sort of adds up to everything we've found out about it so far. What else we got? So I'll just skim through. What are we looking
think
at
that
here?
this was a bird or anything like that.
Okay, there's a little streak going through there. It looks like a bird to me.
WTNH Channel 8 News. Here's a new video out of West Palm Beach, Florida, captured by a man who was working on a job site and witnessed these strange lights sitting in the sky. WTNH. And you can see this thing does have sort of a tail streaking behind
the streak is long exposure.
a UFO. So what do you guys think it is? The meteor...
I think it's going to be a bird, but I didn't quite see it.
I believe that we are not alone. Another user stated, "Yeah, that's not a shooting star because it goes from one angle shooting down and then starts shooting upwards. That's a UFO." So what do you guys think it is?
Oh, there we go.
The meteorologist who posted
like
it
a bird.
obviously didn't personally think that this was a bird or anything like that. And you can see this thing does have sort of a tail streaking behind it.
You can see it was flapping there. If you do frame by frame, we'll be able to prove that as a bird. Okay, what else we got here? A couple of white blobs in the sky. Again, that could be two planes, even, you know. Far distance here.
Alright, so this was sent over to me on Facebook by Mr. Jeremy Smith, who was working on a rooftop in West Palm Beach, Florida, when he saw this formation of lights sitting in the sky in the middle of the day, not moving, no sound, very eerie, and he sent it over to us, and yeah, I looked at the footage, and it's very, very...
I think there was some distant planes on the flight radar.
strange.
We've
been showing you guys a lot of these formations, both in nighttime and daytime footage. Many of them will come in pairs of 2. However, the next formation in line that we usually see is in that of a triangle, like we're seeing here. Here is a filtered version where we've increased the contrast, giving us a better shot of these 3 objects, and you can clearly see that they're just sitting there in the sky. I mean, they're not doing anything. And yeah, the source stated
so
that
they're planes that are flying away from us. That's why they look like they're sitting there. That's my expert opinion on that one. Okay, the rest of it was debunked. Okay, we got there in the end. Okay, let's wrap it up for the night. And whoa, 14 likes. So how many dislikes did I get since I debunked Secureteam again? I'll find out after. But anyway, thanks guys for joining us. And Dan and what was his name again? Garrett, was it? Anyway, can't quite zoom in there, but I've got a dash anyway. But thanks for joining us and giving us your viewpoints and opinions on things as well. It's much appreciated. And people else that have had problems. I wanted to talk about this too. Another thing, I'll leave it for another day. Another lens that people use that can create artifacts, create nice little UFO images. So I'll cover that next time. They're not really much used now, I don't think. They're not very popular, but they're good for creating fake UFO videos with it. So I'll cover that next time, and take care on the roads, people. And maybe do another live in a couple of days. An old CPU mixing out there. Might have to drop the frame rate down a bit. Just need a couple more cores in the CPU, and that would solve the problem. Anyway, I work with what I've got. It's normally crap. End it there because I gotta get going. And Kiwi shut down, turn off the lights. The Matrix Kiwi. Okay.